Hey everybody, I'm going to be now doing round one losers of the Smash Summit bracket based on the overall bracket, who I felt like was going to lose round one and pair off into round one losers. So here's the bracket. I have ECM versus Axe, Pew Pew versus Ice, S2J versus SFAT, and Duck versus Silent Wolf. Now, unfortunately for ECM, this is the nature of an invitational where the bracket just looks really cruel. And for him to potentially lose to Armada and to have to play Shroomed or Axe round one is actually a really painful experience. I'm not, even though ECM is a monster at Pikachu in both Brawl and Smash 4, I'm not sure if he is able to take this set. I don't know how much experience he has. Maybe he's played Pikachu in the past, but Axe is a whole different beast here. Maybe, he's familiar with how Pikachu works in Melee because of his interactions in Brawl and Smash 4. But overall, this is a really tough matchup, although players like Duck and Hugo have shown that this matchup is doable. Hugo winning at EVO, and Duck actually taking Axe to Game 5 at a Rubicon not too long ago. So maybe ESAM just rapidly studies this matchup right now. Maybe he takes a note. I'm not sure if he's even in this chat right now as I'm doing this live on Twitch. But he's going to have to study his butt off on how Pikachu works and see if he can do it. But my gut instinct tells me that the lack of experience is going to hurt him. Axe does play with Taj semi-regularly, who does go his Samus. So he does have somewhat decent amount of experience here. So I think Axe wins 3-1 here. I think ESAM could actually take a game here, given that it's a floaty versus floaty. It is up his alleyway. And with a super strong counter pick, he could go to a stage like Fountain of Dreams and potentially steal one there. But 3-1 or 3-0 is my pick for Axe. Pew Pew and Ice. So they played for the first time ever at Battle of the Five Gods in that pool. Pew Pew ended up taking that set 3-1. Now, this was Marth versus Fox. Ice could go Sheik this time. That's in play, given that Pew Pew is not the strongest person against Sheik in general. Ice has struggled with Marth in the past and has overall never really fared well against American Marths. I did an interview with him. A lot of it came down from just a lack of respect for the character. And so Ice really, pledged and said like he really wants to practice and really wants to do well at Smash Summit. He wants to learn. He wants to train and get better here. So maybe over the course of the weekend he starts to figure things out. But that set at Battle of the Five Gods is like rather one-sided, but I think Ice, given that this isn't on a huge stage, it's in the confinements of the Summit House, I think he's going to be a little bit more comfortable. I think he's going to actually put up a little bit more of a fight. I think he's going to study the videos that Battle of Five Gods, because PP's movement in the matchup is very unique. He likes to jump in a lot, whereas most other Marths like to dash dance. So I think that kind of threw him off more, because generally speaking, Marth jumping in with fairs and nairs is a really bad play. It puts Marth at risk, and I don't think Ice was really used to that type of style. And so maybe, Ice figures out how to counter that. He knows how to deal with it, and maybe he starts getting his grab game going. Maybe he starts getting his pressure game, going on Pew Pew to make him uncomfortable, and maybe he takes 2 games. But I think Pew Pew wins this 3-2. S2J and SFAT. So we saw this set 3 times last weekend at SSS. S2J ended up taking a winner's bracket, but SFAT ended up cleanly beating him 6-1. And even in winners, not to undermine it too much, but SFAT did SD a lot. I think he SD'd 4 stocks. And even in the last game, he was up, and he just ends up SDing. So overall, needless to say, SFAT, has had S2J's number. SFAT seems to know how to hit Falcon really hard, and he gets out of SCJ's combos really well. It was really he was always making the right choices in terms of rolling the right direction or deciding on the right tech so that SCJ couldn't continue his combo, and he really couldn't get much going. And that's a big worry for SCJ. Can he pull enough? He has, been Silent Wolf. He's been these other Foxes. He's been lucky. Maybe he can pull something here. Maybe the SoCal environment will be more comfortable for him. But overall, SFAT's been amazingly incredible against Falcon. Usually eliminates every other Falcon he's played against. So I think SFAT's the favorite here. I think this is actually going to be a close best of 5 set that will go through all 5 games, but I think SFAT clutches it out 3-2. Duck versus SFAT, or Duck versus Silent Wolf is the last matchup here, and the interesting thing here is that there is one Samus in Washington. I forget his name. That Silent Wolf runs into in like loser semis or like winner semis of the Washington events, or is it Oregon? One of those two. And what surprised me about Silent Wolf was actually at Battle of the Five Gods, I kind of preemptively predicted that Silent Wolf was going to lose to Hugo because he had a lack of experience, but Silent Wolf ended up winning. And so that actually made me really change my perception of Silent Wolf against certain matchups because if I hadn't seen that matchup against Hugs, I don't know. I would have cleanly said that Duck was easily going to win this. Duck has been stepping up his game. I think he's honestly better than Hugs right now. If I were to compare them just on results and like how they've been doing, I think Duck has been doing better. And so this is set. It's going to be really interesting. I don't know how I'm going to call this. Silent Wolf is really evasive. Like as much as he gets the perception that he's this really technical like aggro fox, like he knows how to play the hit and run game because he's played Bladewise so much, where the game plans are rather similar, where you kind of have to figure out like how much can you push Fox into earning hits and throwing out good hitboxes before you get counter hit or before you get a trade against the floaty character. And so I think Silent Wolf understands how to play around up B, which is one of Samus's greatest strengths in the matchup, is to break up shield pressure. So I think Silent Wolf will do really well here. Duck is a really good player too, and ultimately I think Silent Wolf really clutches this out. I think he out good players Duck. Not to say that Duck can't win this, but I think it's going to be in Silent Wolf's favor 3-2. So those are my thoughts on the four matchups in round 1 losers, and I hope that I brought a little bit of history and insight. If you guys think differently, go ahead and post a comment on the YouTube video that will inevitably be uploaded soon.